Okay. So first of all, functions. You all know how to write functions, right? You are how many of you didn't start assignment 2? Huh? Obvious. That's good. So, you? It seems to be you raising your hand. Okay. So yeah, then you know what is function, right? Function seems to be a very special, having a special status in JavaScript. You know, with function we have closure. Now, how about other side of functions? Let me give you some motivation through an example. Okay, so we put aside all libraries. Okay, let's say we don't know any libraries. Actually, there exists some library to do this thing. So it's this thing. I want to write a program. Okay, or maybe a function. Okay, I call it multi-JS agents or my agents, whatever name you want to say. My purpose is to write down several URLs. 1, 2, 3. Okay, or 0, 1, 2. Then it will fire agents call. You know, agents call can fire asynchronously in parallel. Okay, I want to fire something in parallel, no problem. Okay, you just go for loop and fire them. And remember, when you use a loop, you need this. Maybe you need closure. Okay, then I want it to be happening that way. These three guys, after it's being called, and we confirm that all three guys has finished, then this callback function will be invoked. This is what is my design of my API. Okay, I want to embed an API call like this. Now, what is the problem? Now, this seems to be no problem, right? I can hard code doing a loop, okay, and waiting for the three guys to finish. Then I try to execute callback function. Now, this is not my original purpose. My original purpose is I don't care how many numbers of inputs here. I don't care. You can put in 10 URLs and one callback function. And what is the callback function? Callback function is depending on how many URL you have to plug in how many results that is from the previous agent's call. Okay? So that means that this is a list of variable length. And my callback, of course, my callback will be well defined because I call my API function. I know how many inputs are there. So I create how many operators here. Operators, operands, okay? Inputs. Okay? Now, what is the challenge? The challenge is, first of all, we don't know how many here. Okay? And of course, how can I make a call that can have a variable length? Now, this is two levels of difficulty, right? I know a call. Okay, I write a function body. I know a call contains variable length, and I want to invoke a call which is I don't know how long it has of a parameter list. Okay. Now imagine what is the language that you have seen before is capable of doing so. Except shell script, I cannot think of any other. Shell script, yeah, shell script using dollar number sign. Yeah, I know how many things you put. C, can you? C sharp, okay. I don't write C sharp, sorry. Okay. Yeah, C sharp, okay. How many? What other programming language that you can do so? I don't know how many. And I want the last guy to be always be my callback function. I put in my function call. It seems that very few, right? Okay, you know JavaScript is crazy. Okay, we can use it in that way. Now I will break it into 3 parts to tell you how to create my agent's code. Okay, this is my agent's code. Okay, I fire it in parallel. Okay, the second part is very easy, right? I just set up a loop to send out agent's code in parallel. I don't need to care how much. Only thing I need to care is whether I need to set a closure or not. Okay? Because we use loop and work on an asynchronous environment. Then some inputs that you put in, maybe you need to have a closure as protection. Now the first thing is, can I know how many URLs? Yes, we can. Okay? You set up an API. And API can use one guy. This guy is the first time you see it. It's called arguments. Okay, we can do so. We can know how many arguments you put in, and after I know how many arguments you put in, you use the loop to fire up the agent's call. As last, you use after all the results has come back, you use one special thing called function.apply to execute the things. Now later I will tell you what it is. Very powerful call. Okay. Now what is argument? The argument is simple, right? I want to support this. No matter this is two guys here or three guys here, no problem. And the call is very similar to ARGV, the argument factor in C. Okay, it is a default array in any functions. Yes?
No, it's not an array.
Well, it's an object. It's an object, right? Yeah, and you're very smart, okay? So this is an object, okay? So yeah, it's kind of, okay, similar to this guy. Now how to use it? Very simple, okay? To use it, because it's default, right? So you just write down it inside the function body, okay? And access its length, then you know how many. Okay, access its length, you know how many. And access them using an array notation, okay? Yeah, of course, you know object and array, you cannot. You cannot separate them, okay? Now, think about it. If it is the case, then it will be very similar, okay, to C, right? C, you have an argument count and argument vector looping this loop. Now, let's do a very mind code that we use in your mind code, okay? Let's say I want to write a function. Okay, so what is the function? Where's the pens? The pens is here. Okay? So let's say I want to write a function is like this, sum. Okay? To sum up a set of numbers, let's say I write down 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, I want to have a return value, okay, of the sum of these four numbers. If that's the case, how to write it forward? How to write it forward? Very simple, right? Use a loop, okay, to loop through how many arguments you have, and then sum it up. Okay? So let me show you very simple. Okay, where's my browser? Okay. So I forget about this. Later I will repeat it. Okay. So to sum it up, very simple. It's badly aligned. One column. Okay, so you just set it up as a loop, and you loop through the number of length here. Okay, it's inside the arguments, object, and array. Use the array notation to access it piece by piece. Very simple, right? Yet, this is not limited. Okay, you can code it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and whatever numbers you want. Now plug it back to my example. So my example is, I want to know how many URLs to input so that I can fire the correct number of agents called. Right? Then this is it. Very simple, right? This is it. I know how many nows. I fire up the number of agents called. Okay? And this is just some programming tricks. Okay, so what are the programming tricks? How many agents called here? I know. Then you try to detect whether all of them has finished or not. If it's finished, then you call your final callback. Okay? So the design of the program is not very difficult. Okay? So let's say that my parallel download.html. Okay? So I want to call in this way. My callback is like this. My callback function is a callback function with 3 results. And when I call it, I input 3 arguments, which is a 1.txt, 2.txt, 3.txt, and then the callback function. Okay, the callback function is up there. Now when I want to have it, I put my entire API inside this JS file. Okay, inside this JS file. Now inside this JS file, what is inside? Yeah, it's a set of things, right? I know it is ugly, so I use a Sublime to open it. Wait a moment. Okay, so this is my repository. What is it? It's 13. Okay, so this is it. This is the script. Okay, so the script is actually not hard to understand. My agent score is here. Now take a look at my parameter list. Oh yeah, it's too high. Okay, my parameter list is empty. Basically, it's empty. Okay, can you see this? My parameter is empty. I wait for a user to put in the number of arguments so that I look at the default variable arguments. Okay, so you don't need to write anything here. Okay, then if that's the case, okay, I just set it up and go to the last argument to find out who is the callback. Okay, I always put the callback to the last guy. Then I will try to use the panel download agents call. Okay, where is my closure? Hey, where's it? Ah, here. So this is an XHR call. Okay, so I just fire it up to let it go. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time over this. It's just some programming tricks. Okay, I just set up an array of Boolean variable, whether it's finished or not. If all are finished, all are saying true, then it's done. I call the callback. Now as an API, you cannot control how many results that will be inside the callback, right? So how to tackle the last problem? The last problem is, I know this callback is being passed in, but I don't know how many arguments should put in until you call my agent's call, right? Now you call my agent's call, you give me 3 URLs, so I will insert 3 callback functions. Now, how to invent such a code, right? Can you do something like this? Okay, I hope that you don't do it. Okay. Yeah, let's say that if that argument is equal to 3, then I write 3 numbers. Else, if the argument is equal to 4, then you write another statement. No, you shouldn't be, right? Yeah. The first problem is how many if else case you need. Second, okay, there is a limit in your API. So we have another way in JavaScript. In JavaScript, we have this is a very powerful thing. Okay, it is being used in many libraries, as well, just like the JQ. Okay, so what is apply? Apply is you want to execute a function. I give a function name. Okay, the function name is called foobar. It's a normal function, simple normal function. Okay, look at it. It's no tricks there. Now with this simple functions, I don't call it by putting in 2 arguments, but I plug in an array. And the array is a list of arguments. So here, like this, I plug in the apply, and I say that the 2 argument is 1, 2, or the second time I call it hello and world. Okay, so it seems to be very happy, right? You just have an array. Okay, you create an array of inputs, then you plug in an array, then you can call the function. I don't know how many arguments there, but you can fulfill its scope. Okay, now this is very simple. What is this guy? This guy is powerful and insane. Okay, I don't say what it is. I want to show you an example first. Okay. This guy is insane. Okay, apply.html. Okay, so let's look at my code. I have this function. Okay, this function is called foobar. I will call this foobar 3 times. With one is a Linux blocks, one is array and an object, and actually all the ways I plug in 2 guys. Okay, I put 2 guys and 2 guys input 1 and input 2 inside the function. I will print it out. Okay, and make it become a part of the body. Okay, using in HTML. Now this is not something difficult. So what is extra is I will print out this. Okay, I will print out this, and this argument will change it from null to window to some other things. Okay. Now look at my output. Look at my output. If I tell you that this first argument is to tell the execution environment of foobar. Okay, tell what about the execution environment? About this variable. Then then what will you expect? This now means that I don't change anything. This means that I change it into the window. Window becomes this inside this function. Or this is the body. Okay? I change the body, become this. So look at here. The first time, because my executing environment originally that this is equal to window. And I say now means that I don't change anything. So it say that this is window. Second time, I plug in window as an input, so it becomes this is window. Again. Now how about the third guy? The third guy is wow. In HTML body element. So it means that it's actually become the body that I plug in here. So think about it for one more step. So what's the meaning of think about it for one more step? Think about it in jQuery if you're using it in other projects. Why inside jQuery you can always say using the this variable and it's point to the correct or the object that you expect. It's actually using this to change the context of the functions, okay, to something that you want. Okay? So this is something why I say this extra, because it's for guys who want to love to say create APIs. Okay? And of course this is highly related to the functions itself. Okay? So I said I will go fast in this set of slides. Okay? So this is the answer. And this apply pattern is all around in jQuery, inside jQuery code. Okay? So that's it.